viewers, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host Belmont, and today we're going to be talking about the new information about Borderlands 4. They finally given us a release date, and they put out the probably what might be the final trailer. They may put out another one because it's coming out later this year. But we have this from PC Gamer. Borderlands 4 gets a release date, another acrobatic trailer. Yeah, I'm not even a Borderlands guy, and I have to admit this latest Borderlands 4 trailer looks fun. Randy and Randy, that's Varnell and Pitchford respectively, appeared at Sony's State of Play stream to show off more of Borderlands 4's acrobatic gun antics. But the biggest news is a release date. Borderlands 4 will be out September 23rd, 2025. That's a Tuesday if you're curious. You see, PC Gamer, this is why nobody likes you. New game releases have largely been released on Tuesday for the better part of 2 decades now. Nintendo is kind of outside the box because they always release on a Friday. That's their schedule. It's what they've been doing for 30 years. They're probably not going to stop now. But Xbox, PC, PlayStation, new game titles have been releasing on Tuesdays for years. I mean, decades. I don't know why you would have to even say this. Also, when you give a specific date, people can just type it into the calendar or pull up their calendar and see what day it is. This is a completely unnecessary statement, which is nothing less than I expect from PC Gamer. Unnecessary statements. But let's continue. Multiple failed attempts to get into Borderlands 3 and that strange Tiny Tina game have shooed me away from the series, but I'm seeing lots to like in the sliding double jump and grapple hook in Borderlands. Is Borderlands a movement shooter now? Okay, I'm leaning in. One, certain characters have been movement shooters. Certain characters are melee characters. This person has never played Borderlands. 3 is the worst Borderlands to try to get into. And Tiny Tina's Adventure, which is a D&D themed game, is very niche and for people that loved the DLC from Borderlands 2 of Tiny Tina's. It is not something to try to get you into the Borderland franchise. I would not suggest it if you haven't played Borderlands and you don't already love it because it's kind of boring if you don't understand all the jokes and the humor and what it is that Borderlands is trying to do. Yeah, I would not say Tiny Tina's is a big game. Whatever. I don't remember the name of it. I have it. I played it. It's fun. It's fun if you like Borderlands. I love Borderlands 1. I love Borderlands 2. I love the pre-sequel. I have played every Borderlands game. I even played that horrible Telltale game, which is the reason I don't play Telltale games because I thought when it first came out, I didn't know what Telltale games were, and I was like, "Ooh, a new Borderlands game. I want to play this." And I was very surprised to find out that Telltale games are just mashing A, the simulator. Sometimes, every once in a while, you hit left or right on the stick to move a character to where you can then continue mashing A. It is a visual experience. They are interactive novellas. They are not games. I do not like when people call them games. We can talk about that later. But this person trying to jump into the third version of a game when the first two have aged so well and they're so replayable even to this day. Jumping into the third is just a recipe for doom. You're not going to understand the story. You're not going to understand any of the characters or their motivations. You're just going to be confused the whole time. And that's probably what happened to this person. They were confused the whole time. Get out, cat. This is our best look at Borderlands 4 gameplay yet. Gearbox also had a trailer during the Game Awards in December, but that one was more focused on character and humor aspects of Borderlands. I can't say I've ever thought highly of. Maybe Borderlands 4 will be a turning point, but back in September, narrative director Sam Winkler said, "We want to make sure that the player and Vault Hunters are the central character of our story. We want to make sure the world is reactive, that the world is grounded, that what whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want grounded in Borderlands. I want ridiculous, over the top hijinks." Just putting that out there. Continuing that while we keep our humor that brings a lot of people coming back to our franchise, we want to make sure that it's situational, that it emerges naturally. Okay, that I can agree with. Borderlands 3, they tried to force the humor into every scenario, and they tried to make the situations. It's like they tried to make them iconic. It's like trying to make a viral video. You don't get to choose what's iconic. You don't get to choose what goes viral. People will decide that for themselves. And that was a big problem with Borderlands 3 is that a lot of the story and the character dialogue felt so forced that they were trying to make it something, which you can't do. You gotta let your audience decide. Hopefully, Borderlands 4's humor emerges more naturally than in the Borderlands film, a critical commercial flop that did not turn out to be a big cross media movement for Borderlands Gearbox was hoping for. No, one, Borderlands movie is barely a movie at all. It is a fucking disaster. It is boring. Nothing really happens. None of the characters actually match up with who they actually are. Tiny Tina is the closest one, but they altered her story so dramatically that it's almost completely irrelevant to the game. It is actually, it's not even almost. It is 100% irrelevant to the game. Borderlands the movie is its own separate entity of pure suckage. I do not suggest anybody watching it unless you absolutely want to torture yourself for 2 hours. If you like Borderlands at all, stay the hell away from that movie. It is a disaster. Okay? Just beginning to end, a disaster. And if they wanted it to be better, one, they should have made it a good movie. And two, they should have released it in tandem with Borderlands 4. Even in the horrible travesty of a state that movie is in right now, had they released the movie, the Borderlands 4 comes out on a Tuesday. Had they waited to release the movie on that Thursday or that Friday, it probably would have seen double, even triple the sales just because people would have been hyped from Borderlands 4. They would have been, yes, more Borderlands content. Let's go see this movie. That's my opinion, but I only studied marketing. I was never actually in marketing. I just took a marketing class once and I was realized there's a lot more psychology to marketing, and it seems that in recent years they've forgotten that psychology and that hook, which is what they use, a terminology they use in marketing, the hook. They don't have it. They just have the line. And you can't just if you throw a line in the water, you might have something nibble on your line, but you're not going to catch anything. You need a hook. But yeah, Borderlands 4, and where was it? I've got the trailer here so we can watch it if it'll open. Blip. I have the sound turned off because of the copyrighted music, but chests look a little different, but roughly the same. The items, the auto equip, and just so it's a new character ability. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. Movement shooter. This just seems like regular Borderlands hijinks, which is what I want. The psychos look about the same. They look interesting. I love the 3D cell shading. It's one of my things that's always attracted me to Borderlands. So yeah, I don't know if that's a new mechanic for everyone or a specific to that character mechanic. We'll have to wait. I might be able to do some research, but nah, I'd rather wait or see if they put out more information a little bit. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. 3 was really meh. I think I liked the Tiny Tina game more than 3, but there it is. Borderlands 4. It's like, oh, new show. I'm not here to talk about that. But yeah, looks good. That's as much as I can say right now. It looks good. I don't know if it will be good, but in my opinion, it's just they've only got a ways to go is up because 3 was kind of the rock bottom of the Borderlands franchise. And I don't feel they can do worse than 3, especially if they've kind of reverted back to the Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2 style of humor, where they're not going to be forcing these interactions or forcing these jokes down your throat. It can just only be better. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I will see you in the next episode.